everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today, this video is step number 2 in our mini crochet along, which is this little angel doll. Now in step number 1, we stitched up her head and body, which is her skirt, her dress. And then today in step number 2, we're going to stitch up her legs, her arms, and her halo, as well as her angel wings. Then in step number 3, we'll put her all together. Now, if you would like the free crochet pattern, you can find that pattern link down in the notes underneath this video. To make the little angel doll, you're going to need medium weight number 4 acrylic yarns. And I'm using all I Love This yarn for this project. You don't have to use this brand. You can use any acrylic medium weight number 4 yarns. I've got a red sparkle, a green sparkle for my accent colors. I'm going to be doing the main white in this white sparkle. This is a light taupe that I'm using for my skin tone, and I'm going to make her hair in gold. Now, I think it would be a lot of fun if you tried to match the skin tone to the person you're going to be giving the doll to, or the child. You can make the hair similar. If your child has black curly hair or blonde straight hair, you can make the hair look similar to the person you're going to give the doll to, and I think that would be a lot of fun. So I'm using this light taupe beige for the skin color and this gold for the hair. All right, so you're going to need approximately 1 ounce of the beige or skin tone. You're going to need about 2 ounces of your white acrylic. You're going to need just a small amount of red and green or whatever accent colors, less than a ½ ounce. And then the hair, you're going to need about 1 ounce, depending on if you want to add a bunch of curls or however you want to do the hair. I did the hair kind of simple, covering the head and then just adding those braids, but you can do it however that you desire. That's what this doll is about, is making it individual for the individual person that you're making it for. We'll be stitching all 3 steps with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need some stitch markers because we're going to be stitching the body and the skirt and the legs and arms all in the round, and you'll need to mark those rounds as we go. You don't need a whole bunch, just a couple. Now I've got some stitch markers here, but there are other things that you can use for stitch markers if you don't have any. If you're stitching with white yarn, you can always take a piece of green and mark your rows with a piece of green yarn. You can use paper clips or safety pins or hair clips, whatever you have that you can use to mark your rounds. You'll need a needle for weaving in ends and sewing on arms and legs and the hair, things like that. And then you'll need a pair of scissors. The last thing you're going to need is a little bit of polyester fiber fill, and that's to stuff the body and the arms and legs of your angel. You're not going to need but just a couple of ounces, maybe 6 at the most. It depends on how tightly you want to stuff your angel. For step 2, we're going to begin with making the arms and the legs for our angel. And they're all made exactly the same. You're going to need 2 for arms and 2 for legs. I've already got 3 made here, and I'm going to show you how to make another one so that you'll have 4. 2 for your arms and 2 for your legs. I've got my stitch marker all ready and my flesh colored yarn. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 2 chains, 1 and 2. We're going to place 5 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we'll place that stitch marker in that last stitch. All right, then for row 2, we're going to place 2 single crochets in each of those 5. So we'll go right in that first one and stitch 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take our stitch marker out. 9 and 10. And we'll pop that stitch marker right back in that last stitch. And then for row 3, we'll just stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, take our stitch marker out, and 10. And pop that stitch marker right back in. We'll flip that out, and we're going to take a minute and go ahead and weave that end in, because it's going to be a really tight little spot. We want to get that weaved in now and make sure we don't have any holes at the end of our hand or foot. So we'll just make sure that little hole is all closed up and weaved in before we go any farther. All right, there we go. And now we'll just push that out to the right side. And that's how it should look. Now we're going to stitch another row, stitching 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There we go. That stitch marker, and move it to the stitch we just made, and then we'll repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's stuck in there, there we go, 8, 9, and 10. Let's move that stitch marker. Now we got the little handmade. Now we're going to switch and bring in our white yarn. And we're going to bring it in the same way we did on the skirt. We're going to take out that last stitch, leave those 2 loops, bring in our next color, which is our white, and we're done with our beige, and so we're going to go ahead and cut that because we're not going to be bringing that back in. Go ahead and stuff those in there to get them out of the way, and then we'll weave those in a minute. And then we'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, here's our last stitch, and 10, and put our stitch marker back in. So now we're beginning to do the white portion of the sleeve for our angel, as well as her white tights. And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this row, row 6, we're going to repeat that for 7 more rows. 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets around for 7 more rows. And this will give us a nice length for our legs and our arms for our angel. 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 7 more rows. I stitched those 7 additional rows, and so now I have one of my arms or legs completed. And of course I have the other 3 already done here. And so we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch, and we're going to tie off, but we're going to leave ourselves about 12 inches, probably way more than we need for attaching to our angel. And so now I have 2 arms and 2 legs all stitched exactly the same for our angel. Again, you need 2 for the arms and 2 for the legs. The next thing we're going to make are the angel's wings. We're going to begin with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to join this chain 5 into a circle. So we'll put the tail of yarn over our hook and pull it through, and then snug that down. Then we'll tie a little stay knot so that stays put. We're going to go in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. And now we're going to stitch 6 double crochets in this chain 5 loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have our chain 3 plus 6 double crochets, so that equals 7 double crochets because our chain 3 counts as our first. We're going to chain 3 and turn. We'll stitch a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 'righty, moving around. This brings us to our last stitch, which is our chain 3, and we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in that chain 3. All right, and then we'll go ahead and chain 3, and you're going to have 14 double crochets. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 double crochets, chain 3. All right, for row 3, we're basically just repeating what we did in row 2. We're going to double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets. Two double crochets in each of the double crochets. I stitched 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets and then chain 3, and so now we have 28 double crochets. We're going to turn our work, and on row 4 we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets around. No more increasing. One double crochet in each double crochet. So we stitched 1 double crochet in each of those double crochets, and we only chained 1 because we're going to add a nice little ruffle trim. So turn your work, single crochet in the first single crochet, and chain 3. we're going to skip the next one and single crochet in the next. Chain 3, skip the next and single crochet in the next. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next, single crochet in the next. And we're going to put this trim all the way around the edge of our angel's wings. I stitched that simple little lace edge around the bottom edge of my angel wings. Now we're going to evenly single crochet across the top here so it looks pretty. So I'm going to do a chain 1 and turn and just start single crocheting right across the top. And again, as I've spoken before, you want to try to stitch in the sides of those stitches and not the holes, if at all possible. It gives it a much even and neater appearance. I'm going to put 2 in that center hole. And then continue on across. There we go. All right, so I've stitched across. I'm going to cut my yarn, grab my needle here because I want to weave that in. Pull that loop in so it looks nice and neat. Wherever it went. There it goes. All righty. So I'm going to take a second here, weave this end in here from where we started, and then I'll weave that other end in. That one's kind of short. I'm going to have a little trouble with it. All right, then I'll weave this end in. All right, so we're going to take our white yarn and we're going to chain 18 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. We're going to join this into a circle. Tie that stay knot so it stays put. And we'll be stitching over that tail of yarn as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 20 single crochets around this 18 chains. We're not stitching in the chains, but around them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I stitched those 20 single crochets around my chain. I'm going to join to that first single crochet and tie off. And I've already cut my yarn. You need to have about 10 or 12 inches for sewing it onto your doll's head. All right, so now we have our halo. In step 1, we made the head and body or dress portion of our angel. In step 2, we made the arms and legs. We made the angel wings, and we made the halo. Good thing we didn't forget that halo. An angel has to have a halo. And that's the end for step 2. Now, for step number 3, that is next, we're going to stuff and assemble all the pieces. We're going to put the face on and the hair, and then our angel will be all ready to give to someone we love, or maybe keep for ourselves.